What amazes me about the Falkland argument is that there are still white Europeans that honestly believe that entire lands only exist when we draw lines around them and put a name on them. That isn't actually true, guys. Okay, this is the problem. We, having this mindset that we can go around the world and we can put a flag somewhere and say that's ours, we own that. That has caused so many problems around the world. Problems that are now endlessly difficult to sort out. Latin America is a classic example. It's full of Italians and Spanish and European descendants who have now lived in Latin America for generations and are Latin American. But they're not, are they? They're Europeans. They're Europeans that we have outsourced to those countries. And that's still causing problems today. So what I really struggle with is when I say, I think that this rock, the Falklands, we call it, that's 300 miles off the coast of Argentina and relies on Latin America for all of its trade and all of its travel and everything that it gets in or imports or exports, that I say that needs to be part of Latin America. That needs to be part of Argentina as its closest Latin American neighbour. And they say, no, because they weren't there first, we were. I don't care. I don't care if you think that going around the world and sticking flags on rocks means that you own them. It's daft. The whole thing, and this is it, I look at this and I think, how must people look at this who haven't got this mindset of, we get to draw the lines, we get to draw the maps, we get to design the flags, and we get to stick them where they want. How must they actually look at us and what we do? Because if you look at these flags and these lines and these maps and these words that we've used to define places, quite often we've done so with the intention of causing instability, of causing separatism, and causing harm. And you can see this throughout the Middle East, you can see this throughout Africa, you can see this India and Pakistan. Perfect example, yeah? Create a line, force people to adhere to it, and cause endless generations of crap. That is what we've done. The Falklands is a classic example of that. The British don't have any right to claim a piece of territory from Latin America. None. And you can argue till you're blue in the face that Argentina don't have a right because Argentina didn't exist as a country, as if we went over with ships filled with rocks and attached them to the bottom of America to create Argentina. Well, no, that's not what happened, is it? It already existed there. It already existed there. It just happened to be yet another scene of Europeans fighting over land and murdering people. That doesn't make your claim any better. That makes us look worse. Yeah? It's like when you go to African countries and they're like, oh, well, are they French or are they British? No, they're not French, they're not British, they're African. So African countries, that's African territory, and we have no claim to it. I don't understand, how I can get other Anglo-Saxons out of this really, really deeply ingrained mindset that we have at any point in history had some right to go to a different country and nick territory, or a different land and nick territory, if you're going to play they didn't exist as a country because the Spanish hadn't created them yet, as if the Spanish are gods that create land masses, and not just other Europeans also stealing other people's territory. It's bonkers. Can people actually see how that's bonkers? Because it is. Now, there's many conversations you can have And there's many, many different ways to look at it. But the reality is that Latin America has an enormous security risk because a NATO country has decided in 1975. My brother was born in 1975. It's not even a generation ago. To go, that's ours, that is. That's ours. That's how it's going to be. It's bonkers. It is white, imperialist, arrogant nonsense. And I'm never going to believe anything else. You can believe whatever you like. But before you start spouting about it, I would recommend that every person that says things like, Argentina didn't even exist. Didn't even exist. It was just ocean. We just happened to head along and find a rock, stick a flag on it, and therefore it is ours. I want you to consider how we look when you speak like that, because I can tell you right now that the rest of the world, they are not seeing this in the same way. Not for toffee. It's just yet another example of why we are untrustworthy, why we are poor partners, trading partners, and why we will eventually lose all respect on the world stage. Honestly, I honestly question the brain capacity of some of you people. I really, really do. It is daft.